The ultimate goal of strength, conditioning, and bodybuilding programs are to enhance human performance. This applies to competitive athletes and fitness enthusiasts. Most of their focus centers on muscular development, leading to a combination of power, endurance, bulk, and improved tone and definition. Yet there is a missing component that if you knew how to properly harness it, this missing component would take your athletic workouts, performance, and recovery to a whole new level. Whether you're a competitive athlete or just living and breathing, your human performance is highly dependent upon one critical factor most people never pay attention to. That critical factor is the health of your endothelial cells and their ability to properly produce nitric oxide. Now, some of you may be familiar with nitric oxide, but most people have never heard of endothelial cells, which form the endothelium and is the largest secreting organ in your body. As you watch the rest of this presentation, you will discover an area of anatomy, biochemistry, and nutrition seldom addressed in the textbooks written on strength training and bodybuilding. Yet these areas have Nobel Prize-winning science and cutting-edge vascular research that can take your athletic training, performance, and recovery to a whole new level. No matter your training program or the techniques you use to prepare your body, when you break it all down, there are just three components to improve performance. They are training, performance, and recovery. When you look at these three components, central to everything is your cardiovascular system. While your heart is vitally important to this system, it's not the organ that will make the ultimate difference. That organ is the endothelium that lines all of your cardiovascular system, including your heart. So let's spend some time understanding this little known but critically important organ. Your endothelium is an actual organ. It's only one cell thick, but it lines all of your cardiovascular system. It lines the inside of your heart. The inside of all your arteries and arterioles, veins, and venules are lined by this one cell thick organ. Your capillaries are just extensions of the endothelium. When added up, the volume of these endothelial cells would weigh as much as the liver. That's amazing, and research has clearly shown your endothelium to be a multifunctional organ involved in metabolic, immunologic, and cardiovascular health. While I'm not going to cover all the functions of the endothelium, let me highlight those that impact your athletic performance. The first one is angiogenesis, or the formation of new capillary beds. This is necessary for wound healing and critical for muscular development and improvement in heart function. This means that the health of your endothelium will play a factor in your recovery from an injury, and it will create the collateral blood vessels or capillary beds necessary to bring additional oxygen and nutrients to your muscles and heart to allow them to properly respond to the increased activity level you train your body for. The second function of your endothelium is to facilitate blood flow. It does this in two specific ways. Your endothelium is involved in both the prevention of blood clots through nitric oxide, as well as helping your blood to clot. Your endothelium creates the vitally important molecule called factor VIII, or the von Willebrand's factor. This is essential for blood clotting, and without it you could bleed to death. While this might not be a factor for those who do a simple walking program, this is extremely important for those athletes who train in environments that can cause scrapes and cuts. The third function of your endothelium is the regulation of your blood pressure. Your endothelium releases signaling molecules that cause your blood vessels to contract as well as relax based upon the conditions needed for proper blood flow. Because your body has a finite amount of blood, it must properly direct this blood supply to the cells, tissues, and organs that need it based on demand. This has two applications for the athlete. First, this helps to regulate blood flow so that the muscles and organs involved in your athletic activity can receive an enhanced amount of blood supply to deliver the needed oxygen and nutrients to sustain your activity. Second, it carries away the waste products generated to the proper organs in the body to help eliminate these wastes so that they don't back up in your system, leading to a decrease in performance. Fourth, your endothelium provides a specialized barrier function to regulate the passage of gases, fluids, and various molecules across their membrane. This plays an extremely important role in the delivery of oxygen and nutrients needed for every phase of your athletic performance. Plus, your endothelium plays a critical role in your immune system, which helps you stay healthy. Finally, your endothelium produces a gas called nitric oxide. This is so important to your cardiovascular health that the 1998 Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded to 3 American researchers who discovered how your endothelium converts the amino acid L-arginine into nitric oxide, the master signaling molecule of your entire cardiovascular system. Most vascular researchers now believe it's your endothelium that ultimately determines the health of your cardiovascular system. And it's your cardiovascular system that will play a critical role in your athletic performance. If you want to improve your training, performance, and recovery, you need to properly nourish your endothelium for improved nitric oxide production. While sports science has come a long way in helping all levels of athletes improve their strength training, there is one factor that most leave out. That is the health of your endothelial cells and their ability to properly produce nitric oxide. According to Darren Willoughby of Baylor University, quote, arginine has been well researched and has many beneficial effects, especially in terms of cardiovascular health. Its main mechanism of action lies in boosting nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a signaling molecule within muscle cells that may have many anabolic effects, including increased nutrient transport and vasodilation. Arginine boosts nitric oxide by stimulating nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme that makes nitric oxide. Research suggests it may help improve exercise performance, support protein synthesis, boost growth hormone levels at higher doses, and help replenish post-workout glycogen stores. End of quote. Nitric oxide plays a significant role in all phases of strength training and bodybuilding, and the organ of the body that is key to producing it is your endothelial cells that make up your endothelium. It's foundational to the cardiovascular system's ability to deliver the necessary oxygen and nutrients needed for muscular contraction and relaxation. Let me help illustrate this by asking you a question. If I could help you better use a metabolic pathway that would produce 18 times more energy with waste products that actually enhance performance, would you like to know how? Well, the obvious answer is yes. That's the difference between anaerobic respiration without oxygen and aerobic respiration with oxygen. In anaerobic respiration, 1 unit of glucose produces a net gain of 2 units of energy, and the waste product is pyruvic acid, which is converted to lactic acid to become the limiting factor for your athletic performance. In aerobic respiration, that same pyruvic acid will enter the Krebs cycle, so that 1 unit of glucose will produce a net gain of 36 units of energy, and the waste products are water and carbon dioxide, 18 times more energy, with water to help hydrate your system, plus carbon dioxide changes the pH of your lungs, which allows them to bind more oxygen to your red blood cells so that you can deliver even more oxygen to the working tissues. This improved blood flow also allows for better delivery of nutrients to sustain you in your exercise phase and help you recover and repair in your resting phase. As you can see, your endothelial cells are critical to your overall athletic performance. This leads us to talk about 2 natural amino acids that must be part of your daily diet to help repair your endothelial cells and aid them in the proper production of nitric oxide. One of the amino acids is fairly common, and one is not, but together they make a significant difference. The first amino acid is L-arginine. It's considered a semi-essential amino acid. This means that your body can produce it by itself, but not in sufficient quantities for therapeutic levels. Thus, you need to get L-arginine from the foods you consume. As you can see by the PowerPoint slide, I've listed some common food sources in which to obtain this amino acid. Let me make a few general comments. Most research indicates that for you to receive a therapeutic benefit from L-arginine, you need to consume at least 5 grams of this amino acid at one time. So I selected 6 food items that I thought would be common food choices. I did the math conversions to look at how much food you would need to eat to take in 5 grams of L-arginine. I also looked at the number of calories and grams of fat it would bring into your body. As you can see by the slide, peanuts provide the smallest quantity of food, but they pack on 70 grams of fat and 918 calories. This may not be a factor for a highly trained athlete who burns a lot of calories, but it is for a weekend warrior. When you examine this slide, you can see that the three best choices are beans, tuna, or chicken breast, 1 can of beans, or 2 cans of tuna, or almost 1 pound of chicken are needed on a daily basis. The other amino acid is L-citrulline. There's not much of a choice in foods for this amino acid. Watermelon is your one and only good choice. Unfortunately, 60% of the L-citrulline is contained in the rind portion of the watermelon, which most people never eat. You would have to eat over a pound of watermelon to get even close to the amount of L-citrulline your body would need for a therapeutic effect. L-citrulline is important because it helps the endothelium recycle L-arginine to turbocharge its ability to produce nitric oxide over an extended period of time. Additionally, L-citrulline can bypass the destructive nature of the enzyme arginase that everyone carries in their bloodstream. Arginase destroys L-arginine, which can then limit nitric oxide production. L-citrulline provides an alternative pathway for the endothelial cells to create nitric oxide. This is especially important for African American athletes since they have a genetic predisposition for carrying higher levels of arginase in their bloodstream. When people realize all the food they need to eat and the limited menu they have to choose from, they begin to ask the question, is it better to get these critical amino acids through food or supplementation? Well, before we talk about supplementation, I need to emphasize an important point about these two amino acids. When you bring in a therapeutic level of L-arginine, it typically results in a 30-minute to 2-hour window of improved nitric oxide production. But within 4 to 6 hours, you're back to your baseline levels of nitric oxide. This typically results in no long-term therapeutic benefit. When you combine your L-arginine with a therapeutic level of L-citrulline, you increase this production of nitric oxide to an 18 to 36-hour window. This has huge health benefits and can enhance athletic training, performance, and recovery. Here's a general overview of how therapeutic levels of nitric oxide affect your training, your performance, and your recovery. There are many different training programs designed to help you build strength, stamina, speed, endurance, and power specific to your athletic endeavor. Foundational to every training program is your ability to fuel your muscle tissues with oxygen and nutrients to sustain your efforts. The limiting factors are energy production and lactic acid. As I've already shared with you, anaerobic respiration produces only a net gain of 2 units of energy for every 1 unit of glucose, plus lactic acid is created to limit muscular contraction. Aerobic respiration produces a net gain of 36 units of energy for every 1 unit of glucose, plus water and carbon dioxide. Water to help hydrate you, and carbon dioxide to help the lungs actually bind more oxygen to the hemoglobin to help deliver more oxygen to your working tissues. This will allow you to work at a higher aerobic capacity for a longer period of time. Thus, you can train at a higher intensity with less lactic acid formation for quicker recoveries. Also, subsequent training sets can be performed at a higher intensity with less lactic acid buildup. This improves your anaerobic threshold, which is the limiting factor for most people in their training program. Your athletic performance is a reflection of your training and the ability to properly fuel your body to meet the demands of your event. Just like in training, nourishing your endothelial cells to improve their ability to properly produce nitric oxide can make a significant difference in your athletic performance. By optimizing the health of your endothelial cells, you will help improve circulation. Improved circulation improves the delivery of needed oxygen and nutrients while carrying away the waste products that can limit performance. Again, you have significantly improved your anaerobic threshold, which is usually the limiting factor for most people in their performance. This will also have a positive effect on recovery. Recovery is a combination of waste product removal and reloading the muscle tissue with the nutrients they need for repair and energy production. This is a function of improved circulation. With improved circulation, it's easier to remove limiting waste products to speed recovery. Improved circulation also delivers the needed nutrients to reload the muscle tissue and facilitate any tissue repair. This means quicker recoveries from both your training and performance activities. And it all revolves around the health of your endothelial cells and their ability to properly produce nitric oxide. So the question becomes, is there a product that can facilitate the repair and support of the endothelial cells and enhance their ability to properly produce nitric oxide? And does it have any real clinical data to support this? The answer is yes. We firmly believe the best nitric oxide supplement in the marketplace is ProOxide Plus. It has been intentionally designed to help nourish your endothelium, to help it properly produce nitric oxide for improved cardiovascular health and function. ProOxide Plus contains both L-arginine and L-citrulline at the needed levels to help turbocharge your endothelium's ability to produce nitric oxide over an extended period of time. In addition to these two amino acids, this product also includes the following ingredients. The manufacturing process to create the proprietary formulation of ProOxide Plus is second to none. A total of 262 tests are conducted along the various stages of manufacturing to ensure the highest quality and potency of the ingredients used. Most athletes will take 1.5 to 2 scoops of ProOxide Plus approximately 30 to 45 minutes prior to their workout or performance. By the time they have completed their warm-up, it's in their system to help provide the endothelial cells with the necessary ingredients for improved nitric oxide production. It then significantly enhances their ability to work at higher intensity levels with less lactic acid formation for quicker recoveries. Because ProOxide Plus includes L-citrulline, it helps to enhance the body's ability to repair so that recovery is quicker. And research indicates that during intense workouts, it can cross the blood-brain barrier to naturally stimulate the pituitary gland to naturally produce growth hormone. This overall effect in training, performance, and recovery has helped many see significant improvements. So this leaves us with a final question. Would you like to experience the missing component to effective bodybuilding by using ProOxide Plus to improve your athletic performance? If your answer is yes, then please contact me. I can help you properly start on this excellent product. I placed my contact information on the screen. I'm part of a team whose mission is to help save 1 million lives. I'll work with you to help you properly nourish your endothelium for improved nitric oxide production, leading to improved athletic performance. Please call me if you have any questions about this remarkable product.